Going over to the cultural part podcast, you have alleged comedian Leslie Jones irate that men don't want to ask her out more often. Now, this brought to us thanks to End Wokeness. And I'm sorry, I should put a visual disclaimer on the screen here. You're going to see Leslie Jones, which some would debate is more visually visceral disgusting than my face. Though, it might be a coin flip, who knows, debatably. And she's on the Kelly Clarkson show. Oh, I'm sorry. Although, again, I don't have much ground to stand on. I look like this. But this is Leslie Jones, who's irate and so perplexed. Why are men not asking her out? Which, spoiler, kind of the cultural bifurcation of men and women not understanding each other. A tale as old as time. She highlights things that men don't care about, obviously. But without too much further ado, actually, no, you know what? I should give her the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps she'll go some very articulate, brilliant reasoning and justifications as to why good men are not stepping up to her plate, so to say. Perhaps they'd be intimidated because she's eating, but nevertheless, in all seriousness.
I'm sick of men telling me, oh, wait, you know, you hardcore. Yes, I am.
Can you handle it?
Oh, well, yeah. What you bringing to the table? I am the table.
You are the table. Is this some self-comedy, like a fat joke? I don't think so. Oh, you know it's being a bad take when a woman starts to do the crab hands? You know it's going to be a bad take. Oh, here we go.
I don't understand why you wouldn't want a woman like me. I am successful. I'm rich. I can fight.
So let me get her logic again. She thinks these are selling points.
Like me, I am successful. I'm rich. I can fight.
Yeah, those are things no men care about. Successful, rich, and can fight. No guy, well, I guess some guys are into UFC girls. Joe Rogan likes some girls, of course, but most guys, they don't really care if a woman can fight. They care if a woman can defend herself with a gun, because if you're privileged to have a family, presumably mama bear, dad's not always home, so mama bear, her job is to guard the kids, guard the house. Again, if the dad's at work. So again, I'm a big fan, and I believe everyone who is law-abiding, especially women, should be trained in using a firearm, especially for home defense. Now, in terms of what men look for in terms of physical fighting, nope. I mean, 3 guys care about, can this gal throw down? Is that what you say? Now, she says she's successful. Again, she is. She's a millionaire. She's more successful than I am. She is very successful. She's very rich. No guy gives a damn, really. I mean, it's the cliche as old as time where you see a successful businessman dating a Starbucks barista. Well, they wouldn't these days, because most Starbucks baristas have the cow ring, about 5 pounds of neon hairspray into their hair. I'm only partially exaggerating. I'm sure there's a couple of normal Starbucks employees out there. I just have not seen them. But it's an instance where guys, we don't care about that. They care about, is a woman kind, nurturing? Does she have a good heart? Does she have good ethics? Does she have a good relationship with her family? And yeah, they really don't care if she has money or not. That's why you see them constantly dating women who are like that. Now again, women, they usually look for guys who are more successful. For women, the guys don't necessarily have to be good looking. So all right, there's some hope for me. I'm only partially kidding. But again, it's usually, stability, success, protection is what, on average, a lot of women look for. A lot of men, I mean, is she pure of heart? Is she pure of body? Is she, some guys, they want to know, is she spiritual? Not the douchey way where, they'll worship crystals or tarot cards. Like, does she actually go to an established church of some type of religion? They really don't care if she has money or not. Now, ideally, she doesn't have a mountain of debt from a bullshit lesbian underwater basket weaving degree, of which there are many out there. Now, again, she's also a celebrity, which some guys like. Others realize that's a lot of high maintenance if you're dating a celebrity, no matter who the guy is. And again, there are guys out there who want to date Leslie Jones. There might be 12 of them, but there are guys out there who want to date her. But the downside is they'll be shoved into the spotlight. No matter who he is or what his background is, he's going to be with her at, I'm sure she is very successful and has lots of red carpet appearances and comedy shows. I mean, in all seriousness, that'll be another variable of why some men might not want to ask her out. She also seems pretty aggressive. And again, on average, not a lot of guys like that. Again, when it comes to, finding a partner for life, kind of playing the averages in this conversation here. There will always be nuances, of course. Not every man is programmed the same. Not every woman is programmed the same, but there are rules of thumb. And this kind of highlights just the difference between, in terms of men and women wanting different things more and more, and not realizing what the other party's thinking or looking for. I don't know if no one's told her bluntly, like, guys don't care about those things. And again, money is nice if a gal has money, but it solves some problems, but it really isn't a deal breaker. And if you talk to some guys like Matt Walsh and look at some studies, actually, the woman making more than a man, and many, on average, again, talking about averages, it's not great for the relationship because she will then, again, averages, not respect him. You see higher rates of divorce and unhappiness, not lack of satisfaction. Now, again, that's not every time, but that's also a thing where that could be hurting her. He could feel emasculated. Now, again, I have friends who, some guys, sometimes the guy makes more, sometimes the woman makes more. And again, there are some rules of thumbs that are, I've seen some consistent themes throughout the years in terms of which relationships work more often than not. And in this society, culturally speaking, women rarely hear the blunt truth. It's one of those things where I think, not to get too philosophical, but maybe that's one of the reasons you see guys at the gym more often than women, and why, on average, women are much more obese than men. And I mean, the joke that I have, with the guys is always, some guy goes, "Hey, friends, do you think I'm fat?" And the friend goes, "Man, I know 5 fat guys, and you're 4 of them." I mean, it's guys give each other shit. They very much, are pretty blunt. They give direct feedback in which you can improve upon. For ladies, a lot of times they don't get the feedback, or they get it very rarely, or they become combative. And again, this is just talking about averages here, folks. I've met some gals who take feedback incredibly well. They improve themselves. Same with guys. There's a lot of nuances to the conversation, but on average, she's just so flabbergasted. I mean, I would venture to say no one's ever told her, "Yeah, Leslie, no one cares about those things." And the sample size of what men would want to date you, in terms of, presumably she would want men who makes more than her, who probably has some type of success in maybe a similar field of, maybe, I should say, alleged comedy. But again, those guys might not want to deal with her. Also, the physical attraction, she's obese. Which, again, I always say, I have the caveat when it comes to obesity in the United States, there are some medical issues and there are some medical substances that make it hard to lose weight or make you gain weight. Again, that's the thing. However, an overwhelming majority of the time in the United States, men and especially women are obese because of their choice of what they eat and what they do not do in terms of physical exercise. And again, there are some guys that are into some bigger girls. But again, on average, there's less of them. That could be another contributing factor of why she's not having people ask her out. Now, again, I don't have much ground to stand on in terms of, me. I get a compliment from women every approximately 12 years. I think I made a Facebook post 2010, saying I run 10 miles or 12 miles or 15 miles, a good compliment. It stands true to this day. But yes, it's one of those things where, anyone, and again, if you're able-bodied, going to the gym, I think, is one of the best things to prepare yourself mentally, physically. Most people can do that. It might be hard with scheduling, but wise man once did say, winners make the time. That could be another contributing variable where no one's kind of bluntly told her. Women are notorious for saying, "Oh, you go, girl. You look great." Lying. Which, again, I would argue is disservice to their friends because they're robbing them of the opportunity of the truth and the opportunity to improve. And Lord knows, I have a lot of areas of improvement. Trust me. Try to just get better every day, physically, mentally, and even spiritually. But again, by no means perfect. Though I venture to say my hair is better than hers, but that's a low bar. Now, this went moderately viral. Got 350,000 views and 3.3 thousand likes. Now, one of the first comments comes to us thanks to Amelia Henderson, who says, "Whoops." You have Trump pointing at Sydney Sweeney saying, "That's a woman, a real woman." And he's standing in front of Ketanji Brown, who is the Supreme Court Justice who's so mentally vacuous, she could not define what a woman is when she was being questioned. And now she's on the Supreme Court. That got 98 likes. And let's make it 99 likes. America AF says, "Imagine the smell," getting 168 likes. Mia Henderson says, quote, your race card has been declined. Do you have another form of argument?" Getting 115 likes, which, again, there are guys who like all sorts of ethnicities. I don't think she's saying, she didn't bring that up. Leslie Jones is an African-American woman, but I don't think that's necessarily a variable in why she's not getting X'd out left and right. I really do think is one of the mainly because she's a celebrity. So a lot of men might be hesitant to approach her, and she's overweight. I think those are probably two of the biggest contributing variables, though, again, not all of them. You also have Phoenix Ammunition saying, quote, "Most likely because my residential home isn't ADA compliant," getting 47 likes. Let's see here. David Santa Clara says, "Leslie Jones exists. Me." This is a Breaking Bad clip.
Yes, hi. I live on the 4900 block of Doswell Place, and I want to report a very suspicious man who's lurking in my neighborhood.
214 likes. The conservative alternative says, quote, because you're aggressive, entitled, overweight, gluttonous, loud, obnoxious, low IQ, oh, and I almost forgot sociopathic. And 61 likes, which, yeah, the sociopathic thing, that'd be the nail in the coffin for most. Ridiculous Takes says, quote, she's making a solid case for revoking welfare benefits for a whole bunch of people who have the same skill set that made her successful rich, getting 6 likes. It's got 1,000 likes? Peng Ming Lee says, quote, didn't realize this was a real person. And it's a AI-generated picture of a very large African-American woman with a mouth open. Usually there's a meme or meme, it says, das right. Okay, that got 1,000 likes. For Ya Feelings as a silhouette of a gal with an empty battery in her brain area, and then a full battery in her mouth area, getting 674 likes. Oh, Jesus. A lot of, again, pretty racist in the comments here, folks. Robert Oppenheimer, though, again, he's dead. I don't think this is really him unless ghosts can tweet, which, I don't know if you're a ghost. Should you waste your time tweeting? I don't know, probably not. But he has a picture of a Japanese girl and an African-American girl. And the African-American girl goes, I am more beautiful than you. And she says, please leave me alone. I have been asking 631 likes. For Your Feelings also has a picture of Sydney Sweeney and says, visible disgust, getting 345 likes. People are using the meme that says, I'm ignorant and wrong, but I'm going to be loud about it too, getting 374 likes. Memphis B3133 just has a screenshot of Leslie Jones looking angry, which, again, you can make anyone look stupid or angry or obnoxious with a screenshot if they're on video. Lord knows some people have more amount of screen time where they look ridiculous, like me. But yeah, she does not look pretty there, getting 144 likes. Paradise Enjoyer says, a complete mystery why no one likes her. It's her yelling, getting 86 likes. Great Uncle Romulus says, guys who are into her be like Tim Walls, getting 297 likes. Tiffany says, come on, guys. You know you want to wake up next to this every morning. 84 likes. It's just a picture of her. Let's see. Sons of Liberty 357. Exceptional cartridge for a firearm. He has a picture of a guy and a girl. And the guy goes, what I find most sexy about a girl is her personality. And the girl goes, good, because I have several. He goes, wait. She goes, don't listen to her. She's crazy. Getting 106 likes. Cobra Flow says the fatigue is real. Getting 56 likes. It's a picture of the gal who's speaking or interviewing her. See here. Bulldog says this is today's Democrat Party. It's a large African American woman, and this is actually a real Democrat, not convention, but a meeting. Very obese African American woman, and she has a whiteboard. It's the post-it note that you write on, the giant ones. It says her title is "All White People Are Racist." And it says "PayPal me at this." That got 135 likes. Jimothy says, I am the table. It's a picture of a white guy on a table. Getting 8 likes, which I don't understand why you are the table? What? I've heard a lot of metaphors in terms of comparing people to inanimate objects. But I've never heard of like, I am the table. I might have to check the Urban Dictionary. I have not heard that one. Let's see. And Fanatic simply says, imagine waking up to this, getting 187 likes. Let's see. Gauda says, I had no idea what you're on about. She's hot as hell, getting 4 likes. Was she ratioed? Oh no, Big Brother simply has a response where a guy looks cringe, getting 3 likes. Oh, it was ratioed. Mary Vinton says, is that Bill Burr's account? Getting 18 likes. So she was ratio. The BTC Explorer says, I can fight. It's a famous police screen or video from a police engagement where a gal rushed at a police officer with a knife and was presumably shot. Getting 10 likes. Let's see. And again, just being a celebrity, not a lot of guys are going to want to approach you. Let's see. Mr. Kitty also says, I'm successful, rich, and I can fight. Okay, but can you bring peace to a home? Getting 39 likes, which also, can you cook? It's one of those things where that is one of the most beautiful things you can do for someone. And again, I know some guys who cook for their gals, but I had a girlfriend who cooked me dinner. Jesus, when was this? 4 years ago. I still think about that to this day. That steak and that sauteed mushrooms, amazing. What did she? And then 8 years ago, I had another girlfriend. she cook? Oh, one of the best combos. Salmon omelet. Egg white omelet with salmon, spinach, some mushrooms, a little bit of salsa, a little herbs and spices. It's been 8 years, geez, 9 years ago? To this, every once in a while, I still remember those meals. That is one of the most sensual, beautiful things you can do for someone, is a homemade meal from scratch. I still remember the cookies my grandma made decades ago. Those molasses cookies, oh dear God, they're amazing. Making a true meal from scratch, that takes, it's one of those things where, and depending on the meal, a little skill goes a long way, and that is something guys will think about. And it's funny, a lot of girls will wonder, what are guys' nights like? Yeah, there's some pejorative, chatting about, the bedroom stuff, but you'd be surprised how many guys will be playing poker and talk about a meal a gal made for them. I'm not kidding, ladies. I know it's mostly guys who watch the show. Well, but yeah, if you want to impress a guy, ask him what his favorite meal is, and just say, "Hey, honey, we don't need another thing guys like to do. Nothing. Tell your guy, hey, baby or babe, whatever. This Friday, let's have a stay-at-home date. Watch a movie, but I want to cook you dinner. Ask him what his favorite meal is. Make it from scratch. He will remember you for decades. It is, and again, I don't know why this is. Obviously, food is nourishing. You could argue it's also craftsmanship and almost like a work of art that you eat, depending on the meal. I'm salivating right now just thinking about some of these meals I've had throughout the years. These days, I mostly microwave egg whites and beef, and it is mostly nutrition. But in all seriousness, yeah, if she could say, like, yeah, I could bring peace to your home. At the end of the day, I'm not going to make your life worse. I'm not going to increase your stress. Shoot, a back massage and a meal and other things can go a long way. And I don't know, I know most gals are fervently against cooking these days, or they don't know how. Another cultural decay or a sign of cultural decay in modern society. And again, I'm trying to think what I've cooked throughout the years. I've made some desserts. Obviously, they're not as complex. What have I done? I've done a couple things, but like, yeah. Oh, sauteed spinach too. Add that to the steak and the sauteed mushrooms. And again, it's actually cheaper than eating out these days and tastes a lot better. I'm definitely going down a fork in the road, pun moderately intended with this subject. But yeah, a nice home-cooked meal from scratch, from basic ingredients, is healthier for you. You'll feel full. It is delicious. Shoot, a homemade meal and a short walk, and like, again, depending on where you live, and almost like a forest preserve. I don't think most guys admit this, but yeah, a good meal. I mean, it used to be a common saying, a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I mean, I know most guys are too timid to say anything these days. They don't want to get canceled. They don't want to get in trouble. Maybe she'll tell her friends. No. I mean, yeah, I think most guys, like, they come home after a long day's work, and you're sitting there with a smile. And you actually want to listen when you ask how his day is, not just, because again, there's also the discrepancy. It's another topic for another time, perhaps, in terms of conversations. And obviously, I'm not a relationship expert. Obviously, I don't have rings on these fingers. But yeah, homemade meal, if she said that, I would give her so much kudos and so much credit. And I would argue actually means more, if you're that successful, her, because again, they could pay for chefs and just eat out every day at Goodyear restaurants, whatever. Actually take time to make, that would actually be especially thoughtful if she were to do it. But I partially digress. I'll do a couple more comments here. Let's see. Papa Legma says, because she looks like Sasquatch, getting 131 likes. Which, again, I don't have much ground to stand on with my visual appeal or lack thereof. You have Memes and Liberals says she's the reason for the declining birth rates, getting 60 likes. Though not to brag too much, I lift and work out every day. And again, with the right diet and exercise, anyone can get a six-pack too. Big Dog says, Leslie Jones also fantasizes about attacking Elon Musk.
This is official.
I'm sorry, I should put another visual disclaimer on the screen because, yeah, she's there.
This is official shit. How is this guy firing people? If this guy gave me a
Again, the worst takes always come from women. They have the stupid hand gestures like they're a crab claw.
pink slip, I'd give his ass a black eye.
That's not attractive either.
Why don't you fire one of this?
So she's upset that an entrepreneur and business owner and leader was firing employees, which pretty much every business since the dawn of time has had to do at one point or another. Except the government. Those lazy bastards just keep increasing their, they just get paid more and more and hire more and more people. I'm only partially exaggerating. I think, I get too political, but Trump being in office, I think it's the first time in a while the government employees actually started to decrease in headcount. Let's see. 44 equals 8 says, I did security for her once. Fans are effing insane. Game 1 likes. Mocking SF Value says, she makes Michelle look like Sydney Sweeney. Game 50 likes, which, in comparison, perhaps. But, yeah, people wonder, why is Leslie Jones, let's see here, single? And again, I think it's sad in terms of, I don't think any of her friends are going to give her the honest feedback that she needs in order to improve. Again, part of his attitude. And again, she's also on screen, being more bombastic than usual, perhaps. But yeah, she's perplexed why men aren't going up to her every day. But let's see here. One more. Pledge allegiance to the Republic says no one wants to come home to a defensive tackle, ready to argue and throw hands, getting 80 likes. One more. Genghis Khan says, I'm successful, I'm rich, I can fight. She literally lists things that women look for in men. Men are not looking for that in women. We want a feminine women who aren't hardcore. And women don't understand the simple truth. This woman will be single for the rest of her life. Invest, and it says invest in Chewy, getting 2 likes, which I guess it makes sense because, again, that's one of the most popular e-commerce platforms where ladies will buy cat toys and cat accessories, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that might be the next Nvidia stock. But all seriousness, let me know your thoughts because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so click that button. Greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down in the comments. Great way to give me some additional feedback. Let me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, to anyone, everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.